Hi everybody, this is Bill McCabe and you're back at the Iron Crane Dojo. We're just finishing up a class and we're going to do a little bit more of some self-defense ideas. A few people have questioned about wanting some ideas on full Nelsons and what the challenges were with full Nelsons and how possibly to neutralize the threat of the full Nelson and what to do if someone has you in them. And I thought that would be okay for some exploration today. Every class that's out there has their own idea how to engage the full Nelson. So what I'm going to try to do is come up with some things that are slightly off the common trail, just so you have some different ways of looking at it and different ways of addressing the situation that's imposed on you. Let me have Sensei Chris come out just for a second. Come over here with the camera. The first thing you need to understand about the full Nelson is that it's a technique that has very serious consequences if you don't neutralize it in some immediate way. Traditionally, the full Nelson is engaged to destroy your balance, and just relax back with me. I want to do this real slowly and carefully. The attacker drops your weight down, and as you're dropping down, the attacker snaps your cervical neck. You can sort of see how that happens. So once you're into full Nelson, you're very much at risk. Now, some people will say to me, I can energize my neck, or I can use my neck muscles to resist that. And fact is the person who's attacking it or applying it has an overwhelming strength advantage over your neck muscles. So if he tightens his neck and resists, you see, I've got overwhelming strength compared to the ability of his neck muscles to resist. You know, the combination of the arm muscles and the body weight will always supersede and overbalance the resistance of the neck muscles. So in our art, we do train the neck muscles to resist things like chokes and whatnot. We have other videos on that. And they give you a second or two with the full Nelson that you might not otherwise have. But even that is a very thin margin. The other thing about the full Nelson is this. A lot of inexperienced attackers will come at you with a gooseneck type of full Nelson, which will be like this. Okay, some will use the locked finger variation, and those are the most common types that you'll experience. A more experienced attacker will come at you with what we call the locked finger grip. And this is a little bit stronger, and it also puts pressure up the knuckles. You can sort of see my knuckle pressure into the lower portion of his rear cranium. Okay, now, if you're using a full Nelson, some of the things that you'll be aware of are that you can use your knuckles into the sensitive areas on the back of the neck. But if you're defending against the full Nelson, you have to develop the ability to resist that. So if I'm here and I'm doing the crane neck full Nelson, you don't really see my application of the energy into the pressure points, but right here is the edge. And as I apply this in the crane neck, I'm on that spot, and you can see the actual contact there. If I do it with locked fingers, anywhere where there's a knuckle or joint, I can use that into a pressure point. And you can actually see this. Bring the camera over here off my right shoulder. You can actually see it right there, okay? That causes, I think Sensei Chris would say, it causes considerable discomfort.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of people will say, well, I can use my strength, my body balance to resist the attack. And if you have an experienced attacker who's able to engage the pressure points, the sensitive points against you, it's all that much harder for you to do that. I just want you to be aware of that. And then with the locked finger attack, you see you have a lot of knuckle contact. Go on the inside of my hand there. You see it? You got a lot of knuckle contact in there. Okay, so those are some of the points you have to be aware of. Now, the most important thing to be aware of is this. is that the full Nelson is very difficult to get applied to a person. So if I'm the attacker, and if I'm going up to a person, I almost have to say, don't move so that I can get you fully engaged in this. A lot of attackers, it'll be 2 or 3 people. You might be facing somebody over there who's got you distracted. Then his buddy comes up behind you and tries to get you into it. And while he's getting you into it, you can stop him dead in his tracks by locking down. Okay. I am locked there. Okay, and he has the ability to control me in that position. In this case, go around, take a look. Locks my fingers. Now he's actually got that to the point where it's almost snapping. Bring the camera over here. Okay, now I want to show you how he got that. So he's facing off with someone to the frontal side. I sneak up behind him. And this could be me trying just to hold him or trying to get into a full Nelson. I want to lock him. He goes over, traps my hand, so I'm stuck for a second. He goes to one hand, takes the vulnerable fingers, locks onto them. Okay, now he's got them to where he can almost break them right at that point. Now he still has somebody over there, so what he has to do is break angle on me, which he does. Now you can see how much leverage he has on that. And look how he's amped that leverage up. He's created a platform and a pretzel lock on the wrist. Now, you can see the kind of leverage he has there, and what he would do there is he's repositioned me so that I'm between him and the other attacker. He can drive me down to the ground, and he can move me any way he wants to move me. He can stretch me out in my stomach, or he can take me onto my back, and then he can escape if he chooses to escape. Now, I'm going to ask that we switch here for a second and have you, sir, that's Sensei Chris, who was just applying the technique, come over to the other side of the room, if you will. Okay. So Steve gets me, attempts to get me in a full Nelson. You see how I check it. He sneaks up behind, and what I'm sensitive to as soon as he's touching me. As soon as he touches me, I break angle, because you, the person who are looking at me, may be an attacker. I break angle, take him down, now I'm faced off. Or I can break angle on both of you. Okay, he comes up, starts to apply, I check, break angle, down. It's that quick, actually. He comes up, I can break angle, go down, foot. This is a harder fall for him, as you can see. And what I do here is I drop him onto his hip. Okay, coming up again, sir. I want you to see how I did that. He's in, I break angle off the trap. Now, if I need some help with this to distract him, see, I elbow. See how clean that is? It sets right up beautifully. Here, up, and the throw is to his hip. There's many other break angle moves here. He goes in, I roll. I'm breaking angle on this leg underneath. See the hand? Trap, back. In, 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 in. Now when you do those in a self-defense situation, you're doing them like clockwork. We're exercising in a very controlled fashion, one, so you can see what we're doing, but two, because we're mindful of safety. Now, I'm going to switch here with Sensei Chris, have him step in. And actually I'll have Steve attacking Sensei Chris. It just shows him striking ways out on that. Okay, one more time. I want everyone to get that foot neutralization. So I'm going to step back a bit. Okay. One more time. Now just don't do anything else but the foot neutralization. I'm going to bring the camera level down to the legs. Okay, and that's a direct attack into the knee. You see how the hands are still pinned. Now, what happens here is, in the full Nelson situation, there are many foot neutralizations that you can use. So if Steve applies a full Nelson to Sensei Chris, and you can see where he's got him right here, Sensei Chris real quickly goes right for the feet. Okay, and as soon as he gets his attention, he can break the full Nelson up above. Okay, and part of this is distraction. The quick strike to the leg takes the intent off of the full Nelson up above. One more time, apply the full Nelson if you will. Now just hold your motion right there. Okay, now show us the move with the foot. Okay, and if it doesn't work with the first move with the foot, what do you do? Okay. Now I want you to take a quick look again at what Sensei Chris did. Go back to the original foot position. Full Nelson's applied. He stomps, kicks to the knee, and you can see how that knee affects the balance of the attacker, then goes for the opposing leg. Okay, as soon as those three moves are executed, you've got the full Nelson starting to become relaxed up above because there's so much pain below to the attacker that he's having trouble maintaining the full Nelson. Sensei Chris engages the weakness there, goes for a wrist lock, stay right there with that strike to the groin, striking underneath to the groin, and continues. Elbow, all these are targets of availability, which he's going for as quickly as he can. And there you have the bent wrist lock down to the ground. Now he has knee strikes here if he chooses to do them against the attacker, outside or inside. And he could also neutralize the person, taking him further down to the ground, ending the fight. Roll his head around there, just take him to the ground off the mat. And then he disengages. Okay, I'm going to have Sensei Chris take the camera for a second. And Steve, you still have some energy here. He grabs at me, checking the quick move. My left hand to his right hand. Down to the ground. We'll just see how I do that. He checks, see it? Quick move. Either way, quick move. Grabs, in, quick. And you can snap. You can sort of see the kind of energy you can put on that once you have some practice. He goes underneath. Now this time I'm letting him further in. I can just go with one hand in a quick move. You see what I do is I adopt a body position, sorry about this, body balance that it exerts maximum leverage into the joint. The beauty of this is you can alter it or vary it to control the person. So once you understand these techniques, the previous video we talked about the reverse bent wrist lock, which is this, but you can sort of see how I'm setting up the escape from the full Nelson, modifying it to a bent wrist lock, and altering it to another technique. Okay? Now, bent wrist locks are not the end-all to a fight. All we're talking about here is getting out of somebody who's trying to engage you in a full Nelson. This is in the middle of a flow of aggression. It's not the end of the fight. These are just steps and stages. It's like you're learning an alphabet, you learn to construct words from the letters, and then you learn to construct sentences. That becomes who you are and how you defend yourself. At any point in time, if he gets me at a full Nelson, I'm going to share with you a technique that was developed by Master Archibald, my own teacher. He learned to split energy. Now take a look at the kind of hold he has here. Now bring the camera out in front. Splitting energy is just relaxing and expanding against the grip. And what I'm doing is I'm going in two diametrically opposed directions, causing his grip to diminish in its power, but at an angle. See, I can't fight it this way because I'm going into his strength, making the grip stronger but it's sort of like a John Travolta move. In fact, I'll do John Travolta if you watch. That's Saturday Night Fever. And that actually helps split the power so you can get out. Now watch what I do here. I turn about and bring the camera to that angle, if you will. Once this right hand is free, I've got the quick elbow move inside, and if I want the quick down, here's the quick down. Okay? So he grabs, he gets the Nelson incline, he's starting to take my neck down. I split. Again, hit, 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 down. Steve is working on a concept developed by Master Archibald, my teacher, and this is one of the techniques that he developed more as a showpiece than anything else. But it does have a good advantage if you're a shorter person against a taller person. So the taller person gets you into technique. Your arms go straight up. Now you see, I'm losing my grip just for an instant. He sits down, straight down, and goes between my legs. Okay? Locks, kicks. It drives me over and rolls out to escape. Okay, if I get up, he's right on me. I'm an old man, he's young. So he has to help me up. Now I want you to see that again. Steve just learned that today, and you can see he's already executing it pretty cleanly. So we'll let you look at it one more time. I lock, put him in the Nelson, just underneath, kicks, drives me back, over, and he's going over. Help all of that, please. There's a variation of that where he drops, goes in, pressures on me with his legs to the side. Good. And he's actually got, if you look at what he's doing to my right leg here, he's across a pressure point. And he's trapping me here so he can close with the neutralizing technique. So he goes down and neutralizes, steps out. He's doing something there called a log roll. Now I'm going to let him do that slowly with Sensei Chris. And we'll switch here. A log roll is one of the techniques of Gun Fu where you teach your body to move like a log. Sensei Chris applies the technique. Steve drops beneath it. Now watch. He traps the leg and his whole body rolls like a log. Okay. Now go back, do it one more time, but stop when you're on the ground. Right. If you don't log roll, you lose a lot of the power. So he's on the ground. He's into the leg. Now watch. He's trying to use his arms, not nearly as much power. And you can see how Sensei Chris is able to neutralize that. But when you log roll, the person is literally rolled off the ground into a vulnerable position. Okay, come on up. I want you to see if you can do the forward takedown. So you drop down and bring him forward. This is a variation of the very same technique, trying to drop the attacker forward over your body. The disadvantage there is you have to be very quick in getting some sort of neutralization on the attacker afterwards. Okay, I'm going to let Sensei Chris just do a few of his techniques here by way of wind-up, and just sort of talk. He has a lot of striking and joint lock techniques that he'd be willing to share with you.
Talk them or just do them?
Either way, just do them, and I'll explain. Stay there. Okay, another one. Okay, I'm going to have Sensei Chris take the camera back. One or two final comments and we'll call it a wrap. So he's here. I want you to see something a lot of people don't really give much attention. When the person has you in that position, you can easily overpower one of his fingers. So he's got you, you just go immediately for one of the fingers. Okay, so he's applying it. Once he has one hand on your neck, he does not have enough power to take you down. Take me down with that. You see?
Nothing.
My pung is able to resist that, but if he has two hands on that, I cannot resist it. So I take one off. As soon as one is off, I've got him neutralized. So one of the things you need to practice, just relax here for a second. One of the things you need to practice is how to take a finger quickly out of that hole. So take the camera back there. Lots of ways you can do it, okay? You feel, you pick the smallest one. You even take a bigger one if you have to. It's whatever you can get. As soon as you have it, you see, you go in.
Yes, sir.
And look, I'm really locking it. And I'm just breaking it because I'm trying to do a self-defense that may save my life. I'm taking out the attacker's fingers. I want him to know who he's up against and what he has to deal with if he attempts to do something further. Okay, so there's a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts. Now, some of these are not the normal ones that you're used to seeing in books. I'm not interested in giving you the ordinary. You can get that elsewhere. I'm trying to show you stuff that we've evolved over a lifetime of experience and are willing just to share with you to explore under the guidance of your instructor. Take care, do well, see you down the road. Till then.
The good news is that it's almost impossible for anyone to get you into a full Nelson while you have some ability to resist. So for example, if I'm fighting a man to my front and his buddy comes behind me and tries to maneuver me into a full Nelson, very easy for me to get out of it. There's many things you can do. Or he grabs at me, I just step away, move into him. There's many things you can do. He grabs, as soon as you're touched, you know right away something's wrong. Now take a look at this. This is a very clean move. As soon as you're touched, you know to react. But a lot of people won't do that. A lot of people will assume that a touch is friendly. A lot of people will actually let a person get them on. Now when this happens, your next level of resistance is not to let him close the full Nelson. So as he's going to the top, I'm using my superior leverage to keep his arms away from closing. Now I've got bites, and I've got bent fingers that I can still employ at this point. Now if you watch, you see I can move him with the bent fingers. The point is as he's able to get his arms around me and he's closing a full Nelson, I lock it and move it down. Then I've got his head if I need it. Or then I've got the bent fingers if I need them. This will take him down. Remember we spoke about the feet techniques before? As I'm here, the camera goes down to my feet if you will. Stomping, stomp, groin, up, in. Stomping into the knee, moving him away. Those are all valid techniques in all of these self-defense situations from the rear. But what happens if he closes on you? He closes. Now right here the pressure's on. I'm still in a standing position. His objective is to bend me over and drop me straight down to a sitting position. If he does that, the fight is lost. Right here I'm standing and I'm resisting him pulling me back. I'm also resisting him sitting me down. Do a little bit of motion there. See, I'm using my energy to resist that. Okay? In some cases, I can use leverage to break his hands, even now, to go to the position that we were in previous. If he holds tight, I can resist, go back, find the finger, and take a finger off. That works nice. You can see how you can control a guy with the finger. He's in, he grabs. Things that you can't do are you can't go to the head. A lot of teachers will teach a move whereby you step in and around, which is effective with some attackers, as you can see here. And with other attackers, it's not effective. If he goes out and around as I grab him, see my superior size puts him at a disadvantage. Now I'm starting to arch him down. He has to react by grabbing, using strength. He's using release there, kicks groin, instep and elbow. 3 or 4 techniques in succession. Now, any situation where your life is at risk and you're losing ground to the attacker, always fall back to the multiple techniques in rapid succession. Other techniques with the full Nelson, he grabs. If you can cause him not to lock, you can actually pull a leg out and forward, dropping him down. Now a lot of guys will let go of you and drop to the ground. Some guys will hang on to you and pull you down on top of them, which makes it a less than perfectly effective technique. I would just stick to the techniques that we've already discussed.